Republicans now circulating a list of the 22 times that President Obama has admitted he does not have the constitutional authority to change immigration laws through executive action. The president will move forward with executive amnesty, the White House says, despite his repeated acknowledgement of the limitations of the presidency. Our next guest, I'm told, reliably blames Republicans. Joining me, the five co-hosts, columnist for The Hill, Juan Williams. Juan, great to have you here. Boehner spokesman today saying the president's executive action will, quote, cement his legacy of lawlessness and ruin the chances for congressional action on this issue and many others. Don't you think the president's making a pretty serious mistake poisoning that well?
Well, you know, Speaker Boehner called him Emperor Obama, Lou, and it struck me that, gee, things were going so well before. Why would Emperor Obama risk a good relationship, a productive relationship with Republicans on the Hill? Well, in fact, there has not been a good relationship, and from the president's perspective, he's been waiting. And remember, there was a Senate bill, a bipartisan Senate bill, 14 Republicans on board, that's been sitting there for a year and a half. You know, Harry Reid, the Democratic Senate Majority Leader for the moment, before Republicans take over, he said if the Republicans just put it up for a vote, it would pass. There are the votes there to pass the bill.
You know, and the good thing about that, and I'm glad that you reminded me that Harry said that, because he would never hold up a vote in the Senate. I know he would not.
No, he wouldn't play politics.
I can imagine the outrage he must feel deep within his soul. And the idea that Speaker Boehner in the House of Representatives would consider themselves an equal part of government with volition of their own, and that there would be some burden for them to pass what the Senate sent over, and of course to do exactly what the president insists. I mean, if that's where he's drawing his authority to issue executive fiats, I mean, he's going to have a laundry list of issues that he can now go after, right?
Well, that, you know, I mean, your point's well taken, that there's a lot of politics at play here. But I would come back at you by saying I don't think there's anybody who thinks that the immigration system works well in the country. And big business, the Chamber of Commerce, which is very supportive of the Republican Party, is at the front of that march saying we want a new immigration system. Part of apparently what the president will announce tomorrow is an increase in these visas that will bring in high-skilled, talented people, especially sought after by the high-tech industry. Yeah, the high-tech industry, where Microsoft, for example, has a handful of H-1B visa holders. I've heard this. You know, Bill Gates saying that we need an infinity of immigrant workers. None of them approach the issue from the standpoint of wages in this country and a middle class that is being attrited. And that is, we've had stagnant wages in this country over the past 15 years, and arguably working men and women have had basically stagnant wages for 3 decades now. While that doesn't suggest we need more immigrant workers, and certainly illegal immigrant workers, when we're bringing in millions of folks lawfully every year. I have a different view, which is that there's a very high percentage of the immigrants who start their own businesses. Don't forget, I mean, you look at something like Google, that's an immigrant. You know, you look at...
You know, they didn't, the founders of Google aren't illegal immigrants. This is about
I didn't say, no,
but that's what it's about. Why is it that you wild-eyed amnesty seekers and open borders advocates always try to conflate legal and illegal immigration?
No. First of all, I'm not an open border guy, but I would say this, that if you let people who are well-educated and have ideas and talent then leave our country after getting an education here, you are taking away people who could create jobs, who could stir economic activity.
Is there anyone who's introduced legislation or even suggested that we deport them, that we not embrace them? I don't think so. I think that's part of the quote-unquote big lie, the broken immigration system. The fact... Well, you know, the facts are we're going to see a president test his constitutional powers and perhaps the patience of some 60% of Americans who say they don't want him to issue such a decree.
Well, there's political risk there. I agree with you on that. I do think
that's
that I agree with you. There's tremendous political risk for the president, but I think there's going to be some response also from the Latino community whose families have been torn apart by high record levels of deportations.
And and the consequences of their decision to enter the country illegally are the burden and the responsibility of exactly whom?
I think we have benefited economically. Remember,
Juan, we can't continue that without an answer.
I think the country's benefited from them, Lou.
That's excellent. I am sure that we did. But I'm just saying, who made the decision to come here and to endure those consequences? Juan?
Well, they pay taxes, but they don't get the benefits. They don't get the Social Security.
You resist the answer. I will leave you with the question to contemplate till our next time, and I hope it's soon. Juan, thanks so much. Juan
You're
Williams.
welcome, Lou.
Time now for a look at our online poll results. We ask if you believe the president comprehends that the American voters repudiated not just his policies, but his left-wing politics. 80% of you said yes. Be sure to vote in our poll tonight. Do you believe that it's our immigration system or our federal government that is broken? Cast your vote at LouDobbs.com.